exhaust, as well as valve springs.
Welcome back to Hunted Mini Bikes.
Hello and welcome back. My goodness, it's been a while since we've seen each other face to face like this. You're looking pretty snazzy. But today, we do have a video. We're comparing gas versus electric mini bikes, and we have 4 contenders to go through. We have the MB200 TRAILMASTER, the modified B224R, Electro & Co. ETM RTR, and the EBOX DRAGSTER. So first, we're going to start with a little information about each bike so you can get to know them. And then we'll do side-by-side comparisons to see exactly which bike is better and where. So first, we're going to start with the EBOX DRAGSTER. It's a mini bike, easily comparable to a Coleman CT100, but it comes with plenty of power. A 3 kilowatt motor makes it very easy to haul around adults, and you can even pull wheelies if you like as well. Now, on one of my previous videos I did say that it's not safe for kids. I was referring to children about 6 years old and younger. I do apologize for that, but anything older than that would be perfectly safe. In fact, look, this is the bike turned down all the way. It's only going about 6 miles an hour, and it's great for kids. Here's me on the EBOX DRAGSTER. Plenty of room for me, there's adjustable pegs, and as you'll notice, the seat is right over the rear tire, making it super easy to wheelie this thing. And with the amount of torque, it's no problem at all. Can I wheelie? Mind your own damn business. Next up, we have the MB200 TRAILMASTER. Now, it might be a little unfair because I have modded this one quite extensively. We had a 22mm carb, 18-pound valve springs to raise the rev limit, aluminum CVT weights to raise the engagement RPM, green springs to keep it in first gear longer, and a header and muffler tip to open up the air, a 62th rear gear for more torque, and a gold racing chain so I don't have to tighten it up as much. So I did end up modding the 196 that came on here, so it's not a 212, but with those 18-pound valve springs, I am getting it up to around 7,500 RPM. And as for the size comparison, I'm 5'11", I fit well, but this is the heaviest mini bike you can buy. Next up, the modded Coleman with a 224. Okay, so I have driven the stock form with the normal drivetrain, and then this 224 as well. There is a huge difference, over double the speed easy, and it feels like double the power for sure, because if you floor it, you just stand straight up wheelie. It's so quick, and if you floor it in the dirt, you just spin and shoot it everywhere, so make sure you're straight when you're flooring it. Now this is a great choice for a mini bike because you can build it with the 224 and all the mods and everything for only about $50 more than the TRAILMASTER comes stock. And now, the ETM RTR. It's more of an e-moto, less of a mini bike.
Oh, you want to race, puppies? Dang, you guys got some speed. Nice job.
Mode 2 would be lightly aggressive. It's got enough torque to pull up that front tire when you slap the throttle. It'll take the hills and jumps like nothing.
And mode 3 is for like hold my beer moments. It's fast.
And it's even so light that you can just whip it around real quick on a small path and get going again.
And it's a really good size.
So first we're going to start off by comparing the MB TRAILMASTER 200 and the EBOX DRAGSTER. If the TRAILMASTER was still stock, it would be almost directly comparable to the EBOX in power.
And if you don't believe me, here's some proof.
Off-road. 25, 26, 27.
And only about $250 off in price. These are great bikes to ride. The only big difference is the TRAILMASTER comes with suspension. Besides that, let's get into it.
EBOX versus TRAILMASTER. Fight.
Well then, that was a giant rock.
So our first comparison today is going to be about the price of mods. For this Trailmaster, I think I spent around $275 getting every bolt on you possibly could, and I gained quite a bit of torque, and I think 8 or 9 miles an hour. And if I had it geared for speed, I could easily double those numbers. But if you're choosing to go electric, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. Now the upgrade kit for this bike comes with a better controller as well as a better motor, and that starts around $700. But if you're going for the 72 volt battery, that's around $750. Although it will make the bike go around 50 miles an hour, that's a bit pricey. Now when you're out off-roading, you're definitely going to encounter some hills. So we're going to take these bikes up some inclines and see just how well they can handle it.
Good. See if we can go up this. This is a pretty heavy incline. Wow, we did go up it. That's impressive. Oh my butt.
The Trailmaster and EBOX are close. The Trailmaster does come with a little bit more power and torque over the EBOX, and it definitely serves it well. You can make it up long, steep hills pretty easily, actually a lot more than I thought. And the EBOX Dragster is surprising as well. Wow. I didn't expect it to be able to take these big hills, but it just seems to keep accelerating.
This is a lot better than I thought. My mini bike will do about 20 up this. We're doing like 13, 14. Wow. Now we're doing 20. Oh my god. These little tires are super hard to steer off-road. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we made it all the way up.
And for example, this is the one hill that I wasn't able to do because I had absolutely no run-up, but the Trailmaster made it quite a good distance. Next up, we're going to see how these bikes handle some deep sand, because out here in New Mexico, that's about 50% of the off-road.
Look at this, look. That's crazy.
Now, it's kind of difficult to compare how well these do in thick sand and everything, because you can easily make the argument that the Trailmaster's tires are twice as wide, so it'll do twice as good in the sand, and you're dead correct. The EBOX Dragster can do well and it can hold its own. It'll take you across the riverbed, but you can't be going down it because it's going to eventually lose speed on these little donut tires. Now, if you're interested in getting one of these for yourself, I'm sure you'll eventually end up hitting the dirt. So let's see just how well these can handle. So this is the one and only time I ever fell on the Trailmaster, and it was because I was looking behind me while going forward. It was also the softest fall I've ever had because it was in the riverbed, so super cake to drive this one. And while it's probably not made to go off-road, this EBOX Dragster is so torquey it just wants to lift that front tire, so you'll find yourself wandering off into bushes or over big rocks that you didn't want to hit.
Well then.
Now with mini bikes, I'm sure you can jump them. I'm just not sure if you're supposed to. So let's talk about it. I just wouldn't jump this thing more than like a foot or so. It's not the bike I'm concerned about. Just the other day I was coming in my driveway at like 15 miles an hour and touched rim through my tire. So it's the tires I'm concerned about. And my god, the Trailmaster is fun to jump, even though I'm almost positive it's not made to be doing that. The pegs almost bent when I jumped a little bit too high, as well as there is a weak spot in the frame that will end up snapping at some point after maybe 30 or 40 jumps, and it is right here on the frame. You'll have to watch that because it'll appear with a small crack and slowly get bigger. Now, one big difference between these bikes is that gas makes a lot more noise, and that gets you a lot more attention from the people you may not want it from. So about 1 in 5 cops wants to talk to me when I'm out on my Trailmaster, and the other 4 usually just laugh about it. While electric bikes are pretty quiet, cops don't really care that I'm on this. I think they think I'm stupid or something, especially when I do stuff like this, because our dog loves to ride with us. She used to ride on our four-wheeler, but I'm not sure how she feels about this. Next up, we're going to compare the ETM RTR and the 224 modded Coleman. Now, these may not be directly comparable in speed and everything, but the torque on the 224 definitely puts it in the same range as the ETM RTR. Now these bikes are perfect to be comparing together. Besides the $1,800 difference, they're going to do about the same off-road, because when you're going in those low speeds under 40, they're going to keep up just about the same. MB200R versus ETM RTR. Fight! So next up, we're going to be comparing the price of mods, and my goodness, the price difference is even worse than before. And the B200 has an exhaust, a 30 series CVT, a 24mm carb, and I got the engine from dynocams.com. It does come without a flywheel, so you'll have to buy one.
And this bike does come with upgrades. You can actually get a whole new controller, engine, and kit. It's about $1,000 from Electro & Co., but it's their upgraded version of the motor that's on here. Whew. You can also get a lighter sprocket for the rear. Less rotational force means more battery saving and more power to the ground. Whew, shit. And there is an upgraded 35 chain you can get from Electro & Co. It's just a little bit stronger, but I think they should have gone with a 420 chain.
Now I wanted to go a little bit more in depth on the torque on these bikes because, my goodness, you can sit at the bottom of the hill and pin it and it will just drag your ass to the top. When in doubt, gas it out. And look, I mean, it worked well. We're just hauling ass up this hill. If you'll notice, the speedometer is freaking out because it actually measures from the rear tire or the motor, not from the front tire.
God damn.
Now the place where the ETM RTR is going to shine the most is flat ground, even if it is off-road, because my goodness, that motor makes it up to about 8,800 RPM, while the 224 doesn't have valve springs yet, so it's still around 58 to 6,200 RPM. Next up, we're going to talk about traction. While they both do well in different areas, they're not their best in the others.
Woo. Oh my god. That's hilarious. Sounded like somebody kicked a chihuahua for a second.
After a certain distance, you just kind of slow down. Now put it into third here. This is about as fast as you can get going in the deep sand. So the most you can do is throw up some rooster tails or get up and walk. But I did find out there is a magical speed on this bike. If you're doing 25 miles an hour or more, you can probably float on the sand and keep going. Keep in mind you do have to be in third. Now the durability of these bikes is pretty high because I have tested them through quite a few different situations and they're still together, 100%.
Woo. That stump?
That stump right there.
Damn, that thing's supposed to be straight. You gonna be able to ride like that, bro?
Oh, I'm good.
You wanna just back it up into that shit?
I had a steel toe on.
Oh. Jesus. Kept leaning into it. Well, man, I just can't balance on this thing when I'm standing up.
Now let's go ahead and compare how these bikes handle jumps. For example, here's all the videos I have of the 224 jumping. Right, let's go ahead and watch the ETM RTR jumping. That is much better. Now Now I haven't seen any cops when I've been on the 224, but it is a lot louder than the TRAILMASTER, so I'm sure they would take notice. As for the ETM RTR, I've been out quite a bit and seen a lot of cops. They don't seem to mind me at all.
And out here in New Mexico, if you want to know how the cops feel, looks like they were speeding. Oh look, there's more cops down there. And there's a cop back there. There's a cop right there. Or some type of cop. Maybe they won't notice. Maybe they don't care. One of them didn't care at all.
Now if you're thinking about getting the Coleman and you want to swap to that 224 for the extra torque, it's a super easy job. It's only a couple of bolts. In fact, let me show you. Now a quick walkthrough on how to swap the motor is first, get the master link off the chain here and that'll free all that up, and then remove the 2 bolts in the front and the back of the motor. Those will be easy to locate. Once those are loose, make sure you remove your throttle from the old motor. Once that's done, you put the old motor in the corner. Get your new motor out, and if you have a CVT, you'll want to get a riser here so that those have enough room to operate. Now that's the drive gear and the driven gear in the back. Make sure that when you put the belt on, you install them at the same time, and that will make life a lot easier. Once that's done, connect the chain behind the driven gear and then to the rear, and you'll be all set to go after you get the throttle connected. Make sure that's all tuned up and set to go. We have a thumb throttle here, and then after that, you're good to ride. Now a small difference that I noticed about electric bikes over gas is that since they're so quiet, you can sneak up on a lot more animals.
Oh, there's another bunny over there. Oh, look, a bunny. Maintenance. Look, another bunny. Look, a bunny. Another bunny. That's 5 tonight. Man, we'd be such a good coyote.
Well, thanks again for dropping by and watching our video at Hunted Mini Bikes. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because we're always doing weird shit over here. And I'll leave you with some words of advice.
Fall in the nice, flat, soft areas.
And feel free to check out our other videos on mini ATVs and go-karts.